Today is Valorant Update Day, and it has brought a lot of changes. We've seen agent buffs and nerfs, map changes, and brand new skins, as well as a feature to randomize skins. In today's video, we are just going to be talking about the map changes. I actually did a video covering the agent changes about a week and a half ago when they were first announced, so you can check that out in the card in the upper right. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a ton of changes coming to Fracture. All right, so let's dive in. All right, so this first change happens from the bridge side attacking into Arcade. It used to be this really narrow little hallway, and it has since gotten wider, and there's this extra cubby. The purpose of this is to kind of nerf the power of Neon and Breach pushing on defense. It was super powerful. There's not a lot of counterplay, so oftentimes that meant attackers would just have to give up the space or end up just dying. This means that there's a little bit more counterplay. There are places that people can be holding, and it just makes it a little bit harder for defenders to push up from B site. Additionally, on actual B site, there's a little bit of a quality of life change. Before, there was this little ramp that led up to a step. Now it's just a ramp that goes all the way to the top. A big reason for this is this angle is one that you are very rarely looking forward when you're going up there. If you are attacking from Arcade and pushing onto site, you're probably holding into their spawn, so you're walking backwards, or maybe holding for main. And so it's very rare that you're actually looking that way. This just makes it a lot easier to traverse, and I think this should happen in more places. It's just really annoying when you get messed up by like a very simple little step. Another little change on B, by generator, when you're actually retaking site, there is one less angle. There is now a slanted wall instead of a hard 90-degree angle. This just reduces the number of corners you have to clear while retaking, and overall should make it a better experience. Fracture is a more retake heavy map because attackers have two sides to push from, and so just making retaking not feel as miserable is going to be a really good step to getting more people to enjoy the map. They also have made a couple little changes in spawn to make retaking easier. They got rid of this extra little cubby, so if you are like full stacked on a site, you're worried about people being in your spawn, and when you rotate over to the other site, you're going to get killed. There's one less angle you have to clear. A lot of the time, like when you're pushing, if you were to clear that angle, you might get peeked from a different angle, and so it just made retaking a lot harder, and this should just make it easier retaking actually both sites. Now, looking over at the A side of the map, pushing into A halls, they kind of just simplified it. There's less angles that have to be cleared. Again, kind of a trend. We saw that with the Pearl changes last update, and we're seeing it again here. This is now just one long wall, and it should just make it a more enjoyable experience pushing. Similarly, when you're actually pushing onto site, there's one less angle you have to clear. This little box was the bane of me. I used to be like, sites clear unless they're behind this little box, and that's because in order to actually fully clear that, you pretty much have to run and turn your back to where all of the enemies are going to be, which is just not something you necessarily want to be doing. So now that you can't hide in that corner, it is going to be interesting to see how this affects other things. Like, how does this affect the Viper ult on top? Can there be certain util that sits up there? What angles are created by